Hey guys, how you doing? My name is John, Gamester81, and welcome back. And today we're going to take a closer look at a reproduction cartridge of probably the most rare Nintendo game you'll ever find. This game, the original one's probably more rare than the World Championship cart, the gold one, believe it or not, because it is a one-of-a-kind. But fortunately, they have reproductions, or really good reproductions, and this is called the Nintendo Campus Challenge. This event happened a year after the World Championship happened. Nintendo basically visited a number of campuses, universities all throughout the U.S., and they had this event, and then they flew everyone to Disney World, and then they had a big extravaganza, an event, and they had a winner. He won a car. So I'm going to talk about this cartridge itself, show you some gameplay, a little bit of the history of the event. Hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching. Here's what it comes with. This is the Nintendo Campus Challenge box. Obviously it states it's a reproduction cartridge. On the back it talks a little about the Nintendo Campus Challenge 1991. There was a Campus Challenge in 1992 as well for Super Nintendo. I'll explain a little bit more about that later in the video. And it talks about the games. It includes Super Mario Bros. 3, Pinbot, Dr. Mario. So similar to the World Championship cart, where that includes Super Mario Bros. 1, it includes Rad Racer, and also includes Tetris. This cart includes these three games. It talks about the scoring as well. You can get, it takes your score from Super Mario Bros. 3 and times it by 10. Takes your score by Pinbot times by 1, and Dr. Mario times by 100. So a little bit different scoring format than the World Championship cart. I did a review on that earlier, another video if you guys are curious about that. Okay. Also, here's the cartridge itself. It comes with a dip switch, so you can change the time, and the instructions explains how that is. Now this is the standard setting. This is set to play for 6 minutes and 21 seconds. It's in a purple case. Now also these are individually numbered. I'm not sure how many of these carts they actually made. It is still for sale on their website, and pretty cool case. And here is the instruction booklet. This is pretty cool. It talks about, they have a little seal of quality here. It looks like a lot like the Nintendo one. It talks about the games, how to play them, just standard games. Now in Super Mario Bros. 3, you have 99 lives, so you pretty much have unlimited lives. It's the timer that you have to worry about, 6 minutes and 21 seconds. The reason they did the dip switches was because, and here's the dip switch. It shows you how you can adjust the time, so you can make it as short as 5 minutes and 4 seconds, or as long as 9 minutes and 46 seconds. They did that so they can control how long they wanted it, but the standard one was right there in the middle, 6:21. It talks about scoring here, which I just explained to you. Tips from the championship. The champion guy was Stephen Lucas. He won with, I think he had over 2 million points, and he won by landslide over 1 million points. There was 57 people who went there, who were actually able to play in the championship, which is neat. Here's the history of the board itself. There it kind of explains what it looks like. It looks a lot different. There's actually a modem connection, like a cable connection, which I guess the reason they had that was because it was hooked up to a central computer, and they had the scores and put it in the large screen there. That's why I did it. Different, unlike the championship cart, this cartridge was never handed out as prizes, is never given away, and so there aren't that many. There's probably at most 20 ever made. Most of those were probably destroyed. I'd say guesstimate that maybe 2 or 3 are remaining. This is the one that are known about. You see, it looks a little bit, the board is a lot larger than a typical NES cart. It talks about the logo itself. You can hold down on a certain controller too, and it shows you this particular logo on the screen. And talks about the different championship ones that they had. They had 2 of them in 1991 and 1992. And here's the schedule. So basically what Nintendo did was, back in 1991, they visited these various colleges around the U.S. and they had these contests, and they would have kind of set up like this. This is the layout, the campus layout, where they'd have parking, and they have these big TVs and stuff, and they would take a winner from each one, whoever scored the highest points in that amount of time. You can play as many times as you want. They would fly them to Orlando and Disney World, and they would actually have a contest. And on New Year's weekend of January 1992, they had a contest, and the winner actually won this Geo Storm right here. Stephen Lucas won it, so I guess he still has it. But this is kind of a picture of how it was set up. These are all the cartridges are actually set up behind stage, so no one really got to see what the cartridge actually looked like. Let's check out some gameplay. If you hold down on controller 2 and turn on the system, you get into the original logo, which appears here. And if you push select on controller 2, you get into the name registration, which is obviously used for the contest. Now, with the reproduction cartridge, it doesn't really hold much value anymore. Here's a logo that appears when you turn on the system without pushing anything on controller 2. And in order to start the game, you have to push start on controller 2. They did this for a reason so people wouldn't start prematurely. The first goal is to collect 25 coins in Super Mario Bros. 3. You'll notice that you have 99 lives. You have unlimited lives pretty much, and the only thing you're time against it here is the time. Playing this game in this kind of setting actually reminds me a lot of the movie The Wizard with Fred Savage, because in that movie they're actually playing Super Mario Bros. 3 in a contest setting just like this cartridge is intended for. The cartridge actually does include the full game of Super Mario Bros. 3, however in 6 minutes and 21 seconds it's impossible to beat the game in that amount of time, but however you can get the warps. This is the whole game in itself. The champion of the tournament, Stephen Lucas, ended up getting roughly around 2.4 million points to win it. And he got most of those points actually playing Super Mario Bros. 3. He rushed through the other two games and found this was the best strategy to do so. Once you get your 25 coins, it's going to go to this menu screen and it should rack up, take your total points times by 10, and then Pinbot is next. To rack up 100,000 points on Pinbot might seem like a lot of points, however, it goes fairly quickly. Pinbot came out in 1990, so this was a fairly new game by the time this tournament took place, and this is based on the classic Williams Pinball Arcade released in 1986. The one known cartridge for the Campus Challenge cart was actually found at a garage sale of all places by Rick Walters, and most recently I believe it was sold on eBay in 2009 for over $20,000. Rick not only found this cartridge at that garage sale, but the same garage sale he found a copy of the 1992 Campus Challenge cart, which was a Super Nintendo game. Initially, the 1992 Campus Challenge event actually started with this same cartridge. However, after a couple campus visits, they switched over to the Super Nintendo cartridge, which include 3 Super Nintendo games: Super Mario World, F-Zero, and Pilot Wings. This time around, Nintendo only visited 35 campuses rather than 57, as in the 1991 championship, and the winner, instead of winning a car, won $10,000 cash. The third game we have here is Dr. Mario, where you're supposed to rack up as many points as possible, and those points will be multiplied by 100. And the object of this game is to match 4 colors in a row and destroy your viruses, kind of similar to a Tetris-style game. Dr. Mario does get very challenging very quickly, so really the best strategy is to spend more time on Super Mario Bros. 3 and rack up as many points, more points on that, and spend a little less time on Dr. Mario, because once you lose on Dr. Mario, the contest is over. And you have to complete all 3 stages, or at least have to get to all 3 stages in order to qualify for this event. This event was actually a lot less known than the Nintendo World Championship event in 1990. They didn't give any carts away, it wasn't publicized as much as through Nintendo Power and through various advertisement sources. So not many people were aware outside of the college campus that this event actually took place. Now, the 1992 championship event, which included the Super Nintendo cartridge, actually took place, the final round, instead of Disneyland World, it actually took place at the Consumer Electronics Show. And as I mentioned before, the main winner actually won $10,000. And the second prize won $100, third prize $75, and fourth place is $50. So there's a huge drop-off from first to second place. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit as we approach the 6-minute mark. But as I do this and we're closing this video out, I do want to pose a question to you. Do you believe Nintendo should get back into doing these style of tournaments? I believe they're a lot of fun. And if you do think Nintendo should get back into doing these tournaments, what 3 games would you include? If it's for Wii or DS, post your comments below. Thanks for watching, guys, and let's see what we got as far as my final score is concerned. Time is up. And I got 800,000 points, far off from the main total. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.